The night was calm over the quiet little town of Pawsboro. Street lamps glowed like sleepy fireflies, and soft rain tapped on rooftops as if humming a lullaby for all who were ready to rest. Inside a tiny cottage on Maple Street, a gray cat named Cosmo was just about to fall asleep. His paws were tucked under his chest, his tail wrapped neatly around him like a scarf. Outside the window, the moon watched over him with a gentle, silvery smile. Cosmo let out a long, satisfied sigh. He'd spent the whole day chasing sunbeams across the living room, watching the birds from the windowsill, and curling up in warm laundry piles. His belly was full, his heart was content, and his mind just beginning to drift. But as his eyes fluttered closed, something magical began to happen. A faint shimmer appeared around the room, soft and slow like golden dust floating in water. Cosmo's whiskers twitched. The air smelled sweet, like vanilla clouds and honey milk. His velvet pillow began to glow, and before he knew it, he wasn't in his cottage anymore. He was floating through a starry sea surrounded by millions of tiny lights. Some of the stars winked as if saying hello, while others danced in spirals, forming a staircase that reached far into the heavens. Curious, Cosmo took a step forward and found that the stars could hold him. One paw after another, he climbed the glowing steps until he reached a magnificent gate made of moonlight. Across the top were the words written in shimmery gold, "Welcome to Dreamland." Beyond the gate stretched a world unlike any other. The sky glowed in shades of lilac and baby blue. The grass shimmered like silk. Trees grew giant cotton candy puffs instead of leaves, and the air itself seemed to hum softly like a purr. "Wow," Cosmo whispered, his wide eyes reflecting the colors of the sky. The moment his paws touched the ground, tiny stars danced up from the grass and wrapped around his tail. A gentle voice, perhaps the wind or perhaps something more, whispered, "Welcome, Cosmo. You've made it to Dreamland." Everywhere he looked, there were cozy wonders. Dream butterflies with glass wings floated by, leaving behind trails of glittering mist. Rivers shimmered like melted moonlight, and every drop made a sound like a soft piano note when it landed. In the distance, mountains made of pillows touched the horizon, where fluffy clouds drifted lazily like giant marshmallows. Cosmo couldn't help but giggle, his purr rumbling in delight. This was a world built for cats who loved comfort and curiosity alike. He padded softly along a golden path until he came upon a cozy cafe made from an old teapot. The sign above the door read, "The Drowsy Cup." Inside, the air smelled like warm milk and cinnamon. A sleepy tabby behind the counter blinked slowly and said, "New dreamer, First cup's free." He handed Cosmo a tiny mug filled with honey milk, perfectly warm, just the way he liked it. When Cosmo took a sip, he felt warmth spread from his whiskers to his paws, like sunshine melting through snow. On the counter was a glowing balloon with a little note tied to its string. The note read, "Follow the stars to the Dream Parade." Cosmo's ears perked up. A parade? In a dream? Count me in. He followed the path of floating stars until he reached a vast meadow under a galaxy sky. There were cats everywhere. cats with shimmering fur, cats with wings made of feathers, even cats whose tails sparkled like shooting stars. Each wore a ribbon that changed colors with every heartbeat. Music drifted through the air, a lullaby woven from wind chimes, gentle drums, and the soft rumble of purring in perfect harmony. The parade began. Cats marched and twirled, riding on carriages shaped like crescent moons and drifting clouds. One cat juggled glowing yarn balls that turned into fireflies mid-air. Another painted streaks of light across the sky with the tip of her tail. Cosmo joined in, his paws lighting up every time they touched the grass. The ground beneath him rippled like water, spreading starlight with each step. The feeling was pure peace, light, gentle, and endless. The parade wound its way toward the Pillow Palace, where the Queen of Dreams, a tall, snow-white cat with eyes like galaxies, waited on a throne made of softest clouds. She smiled at the approaching dreamers. "Welcome, little travelers. Every dreamer brings light to this land. What do you bring, Cosmo?" Cosmo thought for a moment, then smiled shyly. "I bring curiosity and comfort." The queen purred softly, a perfect gift for Dreamland. She raised her paw, and suddenly the stars above formed the shape of Cosmo, a tiny glowing version of him that danced playfully in the sky. "May you always dream boldly," the queen whispered. The other cats cheered softly, not loud, not wild, but warm and full of joy, like a blanket made of sound. After the celebration, Cosmo wandered off to a quiet meadow by the River of Rest. The water shimmered faintly with reflections of dreams, showing little flashes of happy memories, the warm sunlight on his fur, the soft laughter of his human, the cozy blanket waiting for him back home. He lay down on a patch of cloud grass, watching the stars drift slowly above him. They weren't just stars anymore. They were tiny fireflies of sleep, guiding every dreamer towards rest. A small kitten made of stardust floated by and curled up beside him. "Stay here until morning," it murmured. "Dreamland will keep you safe." Cosmo smiled, his eyelids growing heavy. The air was filled with the softest music, the kind that seems to hum right inside your heart. The moon leaned down and whispered, "You've done well, little traveler. Even dreams need to dream." And so Cosmo closed his eyes, his breathing slowed, his fur shimmered faintly under the moonlight. The clouds wrapped around him like a blanket of peace. Dreamland grew quieter, softer, stiller, and all was well. When the first rays of dawn kissed his whiskers, Cosmo opened his eyes, back in his little cottage on Maple Street. The morning light filtered through the curtains, warm and golden. His pillow still glowed faintly, as if holding a secret. Cosmo stretched, purred, and smiled, because deep down he knew Dreamland was real, and every night it would be waiting. Sweet dreams, little one.